And hello everyone, it's time for another flashlight review, and today I have the latest in the Warrior series from Olight. Today we present the M2T. So this is the M2T Warrior. Now before this they had a previous version of a Warrior light, and that's this one right here, which I've already done a review on. This is the M2R, so you can check out my video review of this one. They are basically the same kind of light, but there are differences. And as I say, you can check out the video of this one to see what those are. Basically, this one has a flat switch on the bottom, and this one has a tactical switch on the bottom. This is tactical as well, but we'll get into the particulars here of the latest edition of the Warrior. So, it's boxed, as you can see, and if you're keeping track of Olight boxes, they've done it again. They presented another completely different type of box than they did on their previous light. And they've been doing this lately, sort of playing with different kinds of packaging, and I happen to like this one. Some of the older packaging was very difficult to get into, and maybe somebody heard some of the cries out there about that, so they're making them now a little more user-friendly. On the back here you have some basic information, a few of the features listed, and this light has, and this is the only place that it lists what the LED is, this is the XHP35 HD LED, and it does have a very nice beam, and it can be used with two different types of batteries. And as you can see here, it does list the specifications, has this stuff in the manual as well. They list it for two different battery types, either CR123s or an 18650. They don't say anything about 16340s. Which of course are the rechargeable side of a CR123, but they don't mention anything about those in the manual. It is 1.5 meters impact resistant. It's dunkable, submersible, IPX8 waterproof, and has a beam distance of 195 meters. So the way you get into the little box, oh, and I must say too, or don't need to say, but I will, that the flashlight is the exact same size as the picture on the box. So, actual size. So, pull the inside of the box out. They have a little yellow tab here, which you pull on, which is different than what they've had in the past. Here's the light as it cradles in the plastic. And as I say, it's about, or as you saw perhaps, it's about the same size as the previous Warrior version, and has the same switch, the same pocket clip, and has the same overall look about it. So as we pull on the tab here, we just separate these two portions of the box. Out pops the manual. So here's the same information once again. And as with all Olight lights, they give you a multitude of languages, but not really a whole lot of information about the light. They tell you how to operate it, and that's it. There's not a lot of fancy stuff in there on different types of features and what the lens is made of and what it's coated with and so forth and so on. But it'll obviously have the same types of features as far as that's concerned as any other Olight does, so that the lens is good quality toughened glass. It's also a little bit orange peeled here, so it does have a little more of a floody beam, and it has the sort of the rough edge around here, the sort of beveled edge for emergency things, emergency use, smashing things, that kind of thing. So anyway, addition to the light within the package is what you can see here. You get the Velcro holster. Inside the holster is a lanyard. There do not appear to be any O-rings anywhere, no extra O-rings. This is just a little card here, tell you what to do before you use it. Tells you about the switch on the bottom. But in addition to what you see is batteries. And what you'll see most of the time in most Warrior flashlights is an 18650 battery. That's usually what Olight passes along, but not in this case. Here they give you CR123s, disposables. So 2 CR123 batteries in this little magazine holder, and of course you can continue to use these, or you can use an 18650, which will give you a little bit better light. As I say, they don't mention anything about 16340s, but not sure why they don't. But they should theoretically fit the same way in the magazine as this. Here's a 16340 right here, so they would fit the same way as the CR123s do. So let me get to the particulars of this here. By the way, here's inside the tail cap. Has a little bit of a different look to it, not the usual spring, because as with most Olight lights, the batteries have to go opposite. So positive end down. So that's why it looks like that within the tail cap. However, you do have a standard spring up in the tube here. Probably can't see that too well. Anyway, batteries go in this way, positive side down, and I'll show you the differences when you use the different types of batteries. Basically, you have an extra mode when you use 18650. With the CR123s, you'll get moonlight, low, medium, and high, and then turbo. Moonlight and turbo are not within the regular cycling range. So to turn it on, I would get low, as it is right here, and forgot to turn the other light off. And then to cycle is to press and hold the switch, and in this case I've got low, now I've got medium, medium, and high. So that's all we're cycling with right now with 2 CR123s. Low, medium, high, low, medium, high. If I triple click, I'll get the strobe, and this is the only emergency light, emergency mode that it has. It does not have SOS, so let's get that out of there. So triple click gets you to strobe, and if it's in the off position, you can do a double click, and that will get you to the highest mode immediately. Now in this particular case, or with either type of battery, that will get you to turbo. Again, you don't get to turbo by cycling, you can only get to turbo by double clicking. Now of course I can already be on. Now you see I turned it off and turned it on again, now it's in high. So from the high mode, or from any mode, so if I go back down to low, I can double click and get back to turbo again. So turbo is always a double click away. Press it once and it turns off. Moonlight, the only way to get that is to have it off and then press and hold, and then I get moonlight. So here's your very, very, very low moonlight mode, as always, which is great for something in the dark and very up close. And this is the only way you'll get moonlight, is to press and hold from the off position. If I press and hold now from here, of course I can start cycling again. If I have it in moonlight and then turn it off and then turn it on again, having mode memory, of course, it will remember that it was in moonlight mode the last time, so it'll start in moonlight mode. And of course cycling, or pressing and holding the button, gets you to cycle through the other modes. There is also a lockout feature to prevent it from turning on accidentally. And for that, you press and hold. Moonlight will come on and then turn off. It's now locked and it won't do anything, except when I press the button, it'll give me a red indicator here to let me know that it's locked and it's not going to turn on. And the way to unlock it again is very simple. You can just press and hold again. Moonlight will come on, and then that's it. it will now cycle through the regular modes again. Now with the tail switch is tactical in nature. Now if I have to say anything against the light, if I have to say anything negative about it at all, it's the switch on the bottom. Now it's tactical and a lot of people like that, but it won't tail stand. And I am very used to tail standing flashlights. I do count on my flashlights to be able to tail stand, but no can do with this particular light. It will not do that. So no point in trying to make it tail stand because it ain't going to do that. Now from the tail switch, which is very nicely designed with a very hard rubber here, and it has these grips on it on the bottom. So this is this is not slippery by any means. Your fingers will certainly not slip on this, even if they're wet. But from the switch here, what you'll get is tactical turbo. And this will be momentary, obviously, and you can see the light here beneath going on. I'm just barely giving it a press and it goes on. So you can do that and just release it and it goes off. Or if you want it to stay on turbo from there, you have to give it a very quick press, but a very deep press. So you have to press it deeply and quickly, if that makes any sense. So it's like that, just very fast and kind of deep, and then it will stay on turbo constantly. Now if I wanted strobe from the off position, I would give it that same deep press, but hold it like that, and then you get instant strobe from the off position. Bear in mind that it is tactical strobe, so it does not lock. It just stays on there, stays in as long as your finger's on the button. But so that's rather a nice switch. Now let me change batteries here quickly and show you the modes with the 18650. Here is an Olight 18650. So again, goes in positive side down, and you'll get an extra mode. Whereas with the other two batteries, with the CR123s, you got low, medium, high. But with this battery, you get an extra mode. So as I switch it on, it will be in low, and then as I cycle, it will go low, medium, medium, high, like that. So here we are in low, medium, medium, high, low, medium, medium, high. So there are two mediums and a high. And then turbo is the same as before. Double click and you'll get to turbo. And as you see in here, as you can perhaps try to see in here, it is very bright, and it does have a very nice flood-like beam with a distinctive center. Now the other thing I didn't mention is that it only stays on turbo for 3 minutes, and then it goes down to a variation. It goes down to a high mode, but it's higher than high actually is. So it'll stay on here for 3 minutes and then dip a little bit. Again, this is turbo, so if I press and hold, it just goes back down to the other modes and starts cycling through again. And whether you're on the 18650 or the CR123s, it will do the same work as far as working with the side switch and so forth to do the other features. Here's back to moonlight again. Now the other thing I didn't do yet was to actually run down what it does say on the manual about the modes. And so let's just do that briefly here before we close things out. So on the CR123, you get low, or rather you get moonlight, low, medium, and high. And the high on turbo for using two CR123s is 900 lumens, and then after 3 minutes it kicks down to 600. Sorry about the crease in the manual here. So that's what it does with CR123s. If you're using an 18650, the turbo mode is 1200 lumens, and then it also drops down to 600 after 3 minutes. So the mode it ends up at is the same with both types of batteries, but the turbo mode initially for the first 3 minutes is higher, with the 18650. And the other modes are 115, 60, and 250 with the 18650, and 115, 60, and 400 with the CR123s. So that's how that works out as far as the different battery types. I think this is a nice flashlight. Obviously it has quality, and it does have those other pretty decent features. I kind of wish it had a low battery warning. It doesn't say anything in here about that, and to be honest, I haven't quite used it long enough to see what it does when the batteries are low. Maybe that little switch, maybe that little red indicator under the switch blinks or something. Often they do, but it doesn't say so in the manual anywhere about that. But it is an Olight, so you know it's a pretty good quality flashlight, and you certainly can't go wrong with one of these little guys. It was furnished by Olight for this test and review. If you'd like to purchase one off their site, you can certainly do so with the link that's below. You can visit my website at lightsandgear.com. You can see the outdoor shots and read more about it there. And once you're there, you can also use the same link to make a purchase if you wish. The Olight M2T Warrior is a good flashlight for just about any type of use. If you don't mind that it doesn't tail stand, then I would say you're golden. You know, if you don't care that it flops over and won't stand up, then I'd say you're pretty good with it. That's it for now. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and visit lightsandgear.com for more flashlights, chargers, and batteries. If you do have any questions, please let me know below, and we'll see you next time for more. I do thank you for watching, and have yourself a good day.